We just talked about the outside of a cell. Now let's look at the stuff that's on the inside. We're going to look at both eukaryotes and prokaryotes. They're slightly different, or actually I should say very different, and these aren't really to size. I should start by saying that this prokaryote compared to this eukaryote is too big. It should be about the size of this organelle called the mitochondria. So in reality, this should be about that big, not that big. Prokaryotes are much smaller than eukaryotes. In addition, they do not contain organelles, and how could they? Look how big these organelles are. There is no way they would fit inside this tiny prokaryote. The prokaryote is too small. Prokaryotes are things like bacteria. They can have many shapes. For example, here is a fuzzy pill-looking one with a flagella. Eukaryotes can also have different shapes. So for example, the cells in your body can have different shapes. Eukaryotes can be multicellular or single-celled, whereas prokaryotes can only be single-celled. So for the rest of this lecture, we will mostly be talking about eukaryotic cells because they have all of these organelles that we need to talk about. We will talk about the nucleus, where DNA is held. We will talk about the endoplasmic reticulum, where proteins are synthesized. We will talk about the Golgi apparatus that helps to take a polypeptide and turn it into a folded protein. We'll talk about the lysosomes that break apart things like proteins back into amino acids, which are things like this. We'll talk about centrioles. Centrioles are not seen in this image, but they're usually depicted as being orange for some reason, I don't know. They usually are kind of a box shape like this. And they help a cell to divide. And then we have chloroplasts, which are only found in, or usually only found in things like plants. So in plants, you might get little pill-shaped things like this, and they help with photosynthesis.